is episode 2 of Agents of S.I.P. I am Gigett. I am the GM for this show. And let's go around and introduce our players and our characters. Why don't I shoot it back over to Kurt to start, and we'll go from there.
Sure, yeah. I am playing Gabriel Moore, the former sheriff's deputy of Beaver County, Oklahoma, who is seems to have some PTSD stuff going on and maybe a drinking problem. But yeah, he's a real calm and rational fella who don't suffer fools.
Awesome. Handor.
Sure. I am playing a character inspired by the band Wilson Phillips, whose name is Philip Wilson. He's an older gentleman who is a pastor, and he spent a lot of his time aiding in World War One? World War One? And it is now devoted his other agency to fighting evil.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nightson.
Tonight I will be playing one agent. I lost my name. Richard Williams. Who apparently has been sent to this place with a bunch of trainees, and he needs to keep them in line.
Awesome. All right, Endo.
I am playing Bruce Anderson. I go by Anderson. I am a specialist in occult and supernatural research. I run a library with a secret collection of relics, antiquities, and research and books. And I am part of I am an agent of S.I.P as well.
Okay. And last but not least, Orestes.
I am playing Barnaby Barney Watts, a plucky, blind 11-year-old boy who's got a smart mouth and a big attitude. He walks kind of clumsily and carries a very big stick. It's red and white striped. Yeah, he's a ward basically of Father Philip Wilson for the time being, while his father is off on a very important mission. That's why he's tagging along in character. Out of character, this character was created entirely to screw with my friends.
Awesome. Well, cool. As Kurt said for us in our recap, at the end of our last game, we did have a split in the party where 3 of our characters headed off towards a carnival, and the other 3 headed off to the local bar. And I think we're going to pick up with the 2 gentlemen in the bar. So you guys were talking to the barmaid, kind of gathering information about Adrian and the last time that she had seen him, and you had asked you had asked about when she saw him last and whether or not he would have told her that he was leaving town, and she provided you with that information. And then you guys moved your questioning on to Manny, the other person, the town drunk kind of guy who had also gone missing, and she directed you towards 2 gentlemen that were sitting at the bar who were regulars there that are kind of buddies of Manny's. And that's where we kind of left off with your questioning last game.
All right. Well, yeah, like I said, I'll go over and question these rowdy fellows. You let me know if you find out anything else here, I suppose.
All right. Feel free.
So he wanders over to the... he orders like 3 beers.
Okay.
And wanders over to the rowdy table.
How many of them make them to the other rowdy table?
Well, none of them are whiskey, so all 3 beers.
Okay.
He's still got his own. He finishes his whiskey before he leaves the bar, And he's got his own beer, and then the 3 for these fellas. So he goes over and sits down, or, stands at the table and says, can I buy you fellas a drink for a moment of your time?
And these 2 guys who were just kind of sitting there hanging out were, kind of getting low on their drink anyway, and you walk up and offer to buy them a drink, and they both kind of, yeah, have a seat. Yeah, I'll take a drink from you. Thanks so much.
Gabriel. You can call me Gabriel.
Gabriel, have a seat. Gabriel.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm new here in town, and I've been asking around about some fellas that gone missing, and I heard that maybe one of your friends might have gone, and I was hoping maybe you could tell me something about that.
A friend of ours?
Oh, yes. Manny. I'm sorry, I forgot his last name.
Oh, Manny. Yeah,
Yes.
Manny. Yeah, he's our good drinking buddy. Love that guy. Salt of the earth kind of guy,
Oh, yes.
He's really great guy to hang out with.
Well, could you maybe tell me a little bit about what he was doing before he went missing? If anybody new'd come to town that he'd interacted with.
Oh, well, the night before Manny left, he was in a real good mood.
Okay.
He had, I don't know, he was talking about like some big opportunity. Some big thing that was coming his way that was gonna change everything.
You don't say. And he didn't talk about where that opportunity was coming from or anything about it.
Why don't you make a persuasion roll?
Sure. You mean this game has mechanics?
What? And we're gonna use them.
I know. Craziness. You want persuasion, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Ooh.
Oh, here,
that's a 10 on the die.
We can do this. Haha. Okay, so that's a 10 on my wild die for my persuasion.
All right. So he goes, yeah. He was saying something about getting a job doing like manufacturing or something.
Manufacturing. Okay. Anything else? Anything suspicious or strange that might
I mean, getting a job anywhere right now is kind of strange. I mean, that's not exactly common around here.
Yeah, I understand. Okay. Well, he didn't seem to. All right. Did you see him leave town, or did he say where he was headed?
I don't know. He said it was something big. He was acting real weird that night. He didn't even touch his drink or nothing, which is, I mean,
Oh, that's out of character.
crazy. His eyes looked kind of funny. Like he I don't know, he had like crazy eyes. Maybe that's what he looks like sober. And he kind of like bumps the other guy. He's like, "Hey, wasn't Manny being like real weird the other night?" He's like, "Oh yeah, he had crazy eyes." And then he kind of goes
Crazy
back to his
eyes.
drink.
Like crazy eyes, like he had too much coffee. Crazy eyes, or crazy eyes like they was all red or blue or green or something.
No, not like weird colors or nothing, but just like intense, like real intense eyes.
Okay. Like he been hitting some nose candy or something.
Maybe, I don't know, but he didn't even touch his drink or nothing. I mean, he had those eyes like you get when you've been drinking like that bathtub gin, but he was sober.
Okay.
It was not normal. Manny doesn't act that way.
Crazy eyes. And can I ask, did he spend any time down at the carnival?
The carnival?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody goes to the carnival.
Well, sure.
There's not a lot to do around here, so when a carnival comes to town, it's kind of important to take advantage of that.
All right. Okay. Well, listen, I really appreciate this, and if you think of anything else, you look for me. Got the big white hat, you can't miss it. You come track me down and let me know. I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure your buddy's okay.
Well, I real appreciate that. And he like nudges the other guy again. He goes, Liam. He's like, what? It's like, do you know anything about where Manny was going? Something about gloop.
Gloop?
Yeah, he said something about gloop.
Could you spell that for me?
GL.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, that's real peculiar. But he said something about it. Did he say anything about what it is or who it was?
Something about big job, and it's got something to do with gloop.
Okay. All right. Manufacturing job that has to do with glue.
Yeah.
All right. Well, like I said to your buddy, if you think of anything else, you come find me, okay?
Yeah.
There's another beer in it for you if you do.
Oh yeah, man. Thanks for the drink.
Yeah, I really appreciate your help.
Anytime.
And I'll turn to head back to the bar. Find anything else out, Mr. Williams?
No, only what we knew. You?
Well,
You're over at something about gloop?
yeah, asked about Manny. Them fellas didn't seem too bright, but he did talk to him a bit before he left. Apparently, he'd come into some big opportunity in manufacturing, and all they could tell me is that it was something about gloop, but I couldn't tell if that was what he would be manufacturing or who he'd be manufacturing it for, or I don't know. It's real tough to get a straight answer out of someone who's had so many.
Fair enough.
So the barmaid comes back over. Can I get you boys anything else?
A couple whiskeys.
Oh, sure thing.
And you?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right. She fills your glass. And Kurt, you can have a Benny for indulging in your hindrance of alcoholism.
You drunkard!
I get drunk.
You're a boozer.
I'm getting drunk.
Booze hound.
All right. Well, what do you say we head over to the carnival and see if we can't catch up with our boys, make sure they don't get into too much trouble.
Yeah, they're probably trapped under a well or something by now.
Well, we'll see what happens.
All right.
All right.
So we'll head over, change scenes here over to you three boys over at the carnival. When we left you guys, you had come up to the entrance, and the barker at the front, Big Tim, had told you that he may have seen the picture of Adrian, not real sure, and it was a good idea that you guys go in and maybe talk to the fortune teller, because usually most patrons swing by there during their visit at some point.
Yeah. Most people always see her. She said.
Yep. So is that where you guys want to head first?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's go to the fortune teller.
All right. So you guys head into the carnival, and you get a better view of the different rides and the different booths. And there's like the area that has all the games. So there's like the softball throw where you throw it at the milk glasses, and various games and stuff. And then there's big signs for different little smaller tents for different acts, like a trapeze artist and the fire eater and various there's a freak show tent and different things. and you kind of keep making your way through. You finally come upon the fortune teller's tent. And just even from the outside, you can smell like a very herby incense smell coming from the tent.
Oh.
And as you kind of pull back the flap and go into the tent, you see that the whole room is like decorated in like silks and tapestries, and there's rugs on the carpet, and the whole room is covered in like lots of pillows for people to sit on the ground. And resting on a cushion on the floor is an Asian woman dressed in very brightly colored robes, and she's sitting in front of a small table. She says, "Come in, come in. What fortunes do you seek today?"
Sorry, ma'am, we're not looking for a fortune. We're actually looking for a missing gentleman that we've been asked to try and find. Have you, by chance, seen this gentleman in the last few days? And I'll show her the picture.
"Oh, not here for a fortune. That's unfortunate." She takes the picture from you and she looks at it. She goes, "I might remember this person. It's a little hard to remember everything I've seen. I see so much more than just the physical plane."
I'll go ahead and elbow Pastor Philly.
Hmm. Oh, am I supposed to come in here?
You're in here, aren't you?
I was actually staying. I'm actually staying outside. This is a
Oh.
fortune teller.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and pull. I'm trying to think. I'll pull $1 out of my wallet, and I'll
That's
go ahead
a
and
lot
put
of
it on
money.
the table.
She kind of like holds her head and then reaches out and slides the dollar off the table. "Ah, yes. It's becoming more clear to me now. Yes, I do. I do remember this gentleman. He seemed like he was searching for something.
Do you remember what he was searching for?
Adventure."
Did he have anyone with him when he was visiting you?
Yes, he did. He had another gentleman with him.
Do you by chance recall his name or what he looked like?
The other gentleman that was with, I believe this boy's name is Graham. Am I mistaken?
No, that sounds about right.
Yes, Graham.
Did he by
And he
did
had
he
a
by
friend
chance?
with him. I'm
Okay.
sorry?
Who was his friend?
His friend. His friend who was his searching, who was a traveler. Yes. Very, very worldly looking. Dirty. He was very dirty. I think the term you use is hobo.
Okay. Did he by chance tell you where they were going? Like where he was seeking adventure?
Where they were going. If only I could clear the veil from my mind to see
I'll slide a
clearly
quarter.
into the
I'll
past.
start sliding a quarter on the table.
She looks down at it and she kind of like makes a grimace a little bit and then slides it off the table. "I tell you what, how about you sit down and let me tell your fortune, and then I will tell you anything you want to know."
Okay. I don't see any harm in it.
Wonderful. So, do you sit down on the pillows?
Yeah.
Okay. So you sit down on the pillows and she says, "Put your hands out." And she has you put your hands palm down on the table. And she puts her hands on top of yours. And you kind of start to feel a little strange. Make a spirit check.
Uh-oh.
Okay. My spirit is not great.
Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should have came in.
I would like to use one of my bennies.
Okay.
Reroll.
Nope.
You got a 5.
5, so I make. Okay.
Yep. 5 is a success. All right. She kind of looks at you and she kind of tilts her head from side to side as she stares at you. And she tells you that there is danger coming in your future. And you should
There's always danger in my line of work.
You should prepare yourself for things you've never seen before.
Well, I'll be honest, in my line of work, I'm always in the potential of danger, and I'm always in the potential of seeing things I've never seen before. So that's not really news to me.
That is true. I see a cave, maybe a tunnel. I see that is the most danger you will be in. Yes, you must be very careful.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Now, can you tell me where the boys were going?
Yes. Adrian and Rusty were headed out to...
Adrian and Rusty?
Yes. Adrian Graham and the man that was with him. His name was Rusty.
Name is Rusty. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes. They were headed out of town, and I don't know if they meant to come back at all. And about this time, you guys, you two that are, Barry, did you go inside the tent, or are you standing outside with the priest?
I'm outside with the pastor.
Okay, so you guys are outside, and you start to it starts to get really, really windy.
Mm.
And you guys start hearing the tornado siren in town start going off.
Yeah. What's that?
That
you start hearing like that loud siren that a tornado is coming. And you see people running around, and like the carnival people start like breaking down things and like trying to secure things, and
I'm gonna grab a hold of Barney and be like, that is a tornado warning, and we need to grab Anderson and get out of here. So I'm gonna grab a hold of him and go like stick my head like in the tent like reluctantly and be like, hey, we need to go. We gotta go.
What's wrong?
There's this tornado sirens are going off.
I'm going to stick my head in through feel around for the flap and stick my head in there and be like, standing right outside a fortune teller, you think we'd have a little bit more advance notice about a tornado on the
way?
Okay. I'll kind of like bow my hat and say thank you for your help.
Anytime.
All right. I'll
Be
leave with them.
All right, where are we heading to?
Well, I mean, I think the carnival's kind of in the middle of nowhere. There's nowhere for us to really just skate to. We're gonna have to find some place to hold up here. So where's the safest place at a carnival?
Under something heavy.
Okay.
Do they have like that whatchamacallit, the one that like just goes back and forth and then does the like one. They wouldn't have that in the.
No, they won't have that kind of stuff. What's something we'll look for someplace safe to hold up during the tornado.
How about like
Okay.
under a bridge or in a ditch?
Let's see here. What? Why don't you make a notice check to try and find some
Ooh,
place
see if
that
we
you
can find
feel
something.
like would be safe and relatively out of harm's way for a tornado.
You should search too. Oh wow, I blew up my dice hard.
You both rolled tens.
I
Okay,
got this, guys.
so you
That's
guys
how we.
we have -5. Holy crap. And so yeah, while they're running
It's so
around
true.
trying to find some place to hide, you two are headed towards the carnival. You're about halfway there, and the tornado siren starts going off.
Wait, what? Wasn't it already going on? You mean it's instead of like wooing now it's like full like.
No, Gabriel and Agent Williams. You guys are about halfway to the
Oh.
carnival when the siren starts going off.
Okay.
Oh hell, that's not going to be any good.
Nope. And I start hightailing it towards the carnival.
Yeah, I'm booking it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you guys are able to find there's like a it's like one of the caravan carts that they put on wheels to carry around, but they take it off and like secure it down when they're actually like made camp and stuff. And so you're able to get in there, and it's just like a kind of like a storage area of stuff. So there's various items inside, but at least gets you inside something out of the elements. You guys start hightailing it towards the carnival, and the wind really starts to pick up. As you get closer to the carnival, you start to see the tornado kind of coming into view, and it's very, very large, and it looks like it's kind of right in the path of where the carnival is sitting. It's headed right in that direction.
Okay. I'm gonna. Is there people milling about, or have they all taken cover at this point?
Everybody's running for cover and getting in basements and getting underground. And there's like people still like running out of the carnival trying to make it back to town.
Well, I'm. Oh, go ahead.
So Barney is making his way towards shelter. Unbeknownst to him, the nearest building is the Hall of Mirrors.
Sure.
Awesome. So do we think we could get to the carnival before the tornado, or?
You think it's going to be real close.
Okay. I mean, I'm still running straight
Okay.
at the carnival, and I look
Yeah.
over at Williams and say, "What do you think? We gonna make it, or do we need to find other shelter?"
Well, I don't know if any of them have been through a tornado before. I'm hoping that they know to take cover, but there's all these civilians out. We should probably help them at the very least.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I'll look around and see if anybody's having trouble getting into, little old ladies or kids that got lost or anything like that.
Okay, great. Yeah. So you guys are helping the young, the old, the infirmed, everyone you can try to get into a basement. The closest building to the fairgrounds is the sheriff's office, and there's a basement under it. And so that's where a lot of the town is kind of funneling, is under the jail.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess, I don't know. I kind of want to try to take care of our friends, but I don't know that we're going to make it.
So as you guys are like trying to help the last few people into the basement, you kind of see off like behind you as the tornado kind of passes over the carnival. It starts like you can see it sucking stuff up into it, and it goes over the carnival. You guys do like jump into the basement?
Yeah.
Yeah, or at least brace myself against something just to make sure. Like if I need it, basically, if in case anyone shows up last minute, kind of thing.
Just, you know,
I think you can see. Oh, go ahead. What was that, Hander?
I was wondering if he was just like sitting there wrapping his arms and legs around a lamppost or what.
Basically.
Yeah.
Right.
If you can tell, or if you're paying attention to Gabriel at all, he's probably stuck in a bit of like decision paralysis. Whether to take cover or run towards the carnival. And even though it's pretty obvious by this point that he's not going to make it to the carnival, he's sort of just stuck there and he's not really holding on to anything.
Let's find out. Yeah, all right. So I look over, notice that you are just standing there kind of slack-jawed. Gabriel, grab hold of something before the twister takes you.
What, yeah, okay. Sorry, yes. And he like grabs the nearest thing.
So you guys are staying outside, but you're trying to like hold on to a pole?
Yeah, basically just in case something happens, there's a last minute somebody or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll duck for cover.
So the you guys that are inside buildings at the carnival, you start to hear this very loud roar over top. And the buildings, the boxes basically that you're in starts to rattle and shake. And I need you to make a vigor check for me.
Okay, dokie. Vigor is my jam.
It is not mine, and apparently not.
Oh
yours
my
either.
gosh! Wait,
No, that's my. What the?
no, dude, we both rolled like trash. You blew up your wild dice hard. You're
You
fine.
got a 13.
I don't want to spend another Benny, so I'm gonna let that rock.
Ouch.
Okay.
See what happens.
Yeah,
All right, I'm just checking something here.
Bring it.
I'm pretty old. I don't think I could carry you.
Probably not. Wow, we rolled like garbage. Or I rolled like garbage.
Well,
Can't
I got
blame another
lucky.
dice.
Is there a way?
Yeah, I
to,
can.
How do I?
The internet's against me.
How do I roll something?
You can /R space and then the number of dice that you want.
Okay.
The internet is against me.
Okay. So does a 6 hit your toughness, Anderson?
Let's find out. It's a tie. Tie go to
Okay.
me.
Tie goes to you. Yep. Tie goes
Ooh,
to you.
it's a tie.
How about you, Barney? Did you roll?
Oh, no. Sorry, what am I rolling?
Tie means shaken?
Yeah, if it's damage, time and shake.
Oh, I'm sorry. Tie means shaken. It's Perry goes to you.
I accept the first
vigor,
response.
vigor.
So you are shaken.
I turned
Okay,
on my shaking thingy.
So you succeeded your roll, Barney. Okay,
Yeah.
so this tornado starts to pass over. You guys, the box starts to be shaken. You kind of get thrown around a little bit. Anderson, you start to feel not just like the bumping around in the box, but you start to feel like almost like your life force is getting sucked out of you.
Holy shit!
Okay.
And
I try and keep my life force in.
What's the roll for that?
so can I get
That figure check he failed?
Let me get a strength check from Gabriel and Agent Williams to hold on to your poles with the
Sure.
suckage of wind that is happening.
Is that strength or athletics?
Oh, I'm sorry. That would be
My
athletics.
strength is higher, so let's do strength.
Well, it's Agent Williams, not you.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You're not hanging onto a pole.
It's true.
Would
Oh,
you?
jeez.
Would either of you like to
It did
Benny
not
those
go.
rolls?
Yeah, I'm in Benny. Because I don't want to go down. I don't want to die. Okay, there we go.
All right. So Gabriel got a 14.
What
I'm
happened
gonna
to
take
those?
his roll.
Yeah. What happened?
You
What
just
happened to
split
those dice we had all weekend?
I know, right? And then Agent Williams, are you going to Benny and roll again or no?
No, I'm gonna see what happens.
Okay. So Agent Williams is like, Gabriel, hang on. And so you wrap your arms around really tight. And Agent Williams was distracted trying to get you hooked on. And the wind starts to kind of wind tunnel, kind of suck him off the pole. And so your hands kind of slip off and you go sliding across the dirt.
Does he go past me? Like, can I try to catch him?
Sure, yeah. You want to try and grab him? You
Yeah.
can make a athletics to try to grab him.
Cliffhanger that shit.
Oh yeah, do you want to jump to another scene while I'm trying to catch him before he gets sucked into a tornado? Or do you want me to roll?
Go ahead and roll.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So you go sliding by on your chest. You kind of get a few scrapes, but you're okay. And Gabriel reaches his hand out, and you guys grab arms, and he's kind of got a hold of you so you don't get pulled in towards the tornado area. And then, kind of as quickly as the tornado came in and rumbled through, it lifted back up again and was gone. And the tornado is gone, and the shaking stops.
Can you guys hear that dog out my side?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as quickly as the tornado came in, it dissipates and disappears.
Well,
Much obliged, but we should probably go check the damages.
oh, yes. We better head on to that carnival and see if everybody's okay. Hey, listen, I appreciate you snapping me out of it there. I tend to get a little in my own head sometimes, and
Well, hopefully next time it'll be a little bit longer before you pay me back.
yes, you got it. And he takes off running towards the carnival.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys start emerging from the box? Yes? Okay. And Barney, were you with them or were you in the Hall of Mirrors?
I have no idea where I'm at right now.
Okay. All right. So you hear the storm, the loud rumbling sound stop. So wherever you are, you know that you're safe. You guys go running into the carnival. Do you two start to come out of the box?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. Obviously, I'm going to notice that Barney's missing. Mother.
So as you make your way to the edge of the box to go open the door, you realize that the door handle isn't where it's supposed to be. So you go and open it, and it kind of flaps down, like your box got turned on its side.
Yeah.
And so you have to crawl your way out of the box and out into the kind of the main area of the carnival. There's kind of like shit everywhere, destruction everywhere. You guys come running up, and you guys see that there's a crowd of the carnival people kind of clustered around, looking at something on the ground, and you can hear like the gasps and cries from some of the people.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna crawl out, and I'm gonna reach my hand in and be like, ask Anderson if he's okay, and like lend a hand to help him.
Okay.
Get.
I'm fine. What's the commotion out there?
I don't know yet. We should probably check it out, but I don't know where the hell Barney went either. So
I think I saw him heading towards the wall of mirrors.
okay.
So
hopefully he'll be trapped in there for a little bit. We can go check out what the.
if he's not cut into a million pieces.
Oh, this there was no vacuum or anything like that, so I don't think that's an issue.
Okay. Why don't you check out what's going on with the commotion, and I'll go look for Barney.
All right, that sounds like a good plan.
I'll head towards the mirrors.
Split the
Okay.
party even further. All right,
So-
so I'm gonna go investigate the oohs and ahs.
Okay. And about the same time that the two agents kind of show up, the priest or the pastor, you make it there at the same time. You can kind of end up together with each other.
Okay.
And so you kind of push your way through the crowd to the front to see what's going on. And
Yeah, I'm making sure to let them know that I'm a man of the cloth.
okay. You see lying on the ground what probably was a person at one point. Now it looks kind of like a dehydrated husk of a person.
Okay.
So do I see them like across the way?
Yeah, you guys probably like all kind of converge on it, so you probably see each other like, hey.
Okay. I'm gonna yeah.
I badge my way through the crowd
Okay.
towards the body.
Yeah. I'm gonna be like, hey, you know, what's your first name? Did I just call you Agent Williams?
Yeah, that's appropriate.
Okay. Hey, hey, Gabriel and Agent Williams. You guys seeing this, man?
Oh,
This is different.
Very different. I've never seen anything like this.
You start hearing
So-
voices
Quite
in the
bizarre.
crowd going, "Who is it? Who is it?" And they start like kind of starting to do like roll call within the
Oh.
carnival to try to figure out like because it's unrecognizable, right?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
reach down and check their pockets.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
Well, that's a 5.
It's 5. Yeah.
There is no investigation skill anymore. It's research.
Oh,
Sorry,
it's
that's research.
Right. Sorry.
Is
it's
that what you
research.
wanted, or?
Yeah, research. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Did you make a research check?
Well,
check?
it's called investigation on the sheet, but
Okay. Yeah, so you go patting through his pockets. Are you being delicate about this and like respectful of the fact that this was somebody, or are you just like rummaging around in their pockets?
I'm doing the cop thing, looking for evidence. So
Okay.
I'm not like trying to tear his clothes or put anything on him. So, do we? I don't know if we'd have gloves at this time. That wouldn't really be a thing. But I'll like just reach through, feel for like a wallet or any identification.
You might have leather gloves that you would use as opposed to like something like that.
Maybe.
Well, if anything, it'd be like traveling gloves kind of thing.
Yeah, like a traveling glove.
Probably not,
that's-
because it'd be hard to manipulate stuff, and we were just at a bar, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you find a wallet, and inside you find an ID that says Havor Warfrick.
All right. Well, looks like anybody know how to pronounce unpronounceable names? Anybody?
And a woman who is dressed in brightly colored robes walks out. Here, let me see that. I'll read it for you.
I'll slip her the ID.
She looks at the name and she solemnly kind of nods and she hands it back to you and she says it was one of ours.
All right. Does he have a next of kin or something you want notified?
We are his family.
Okay. Well, if you'll all just stay back for a moment longer, we're gonna search and see if we can't find anything. Me and my associates here are members of the USBI. He were searching for investigating the missing persons. So this just got added to our list. So we'll do everything we can to find out what happened and do it respectfully and quickly. If you can keep everybody back for just a little longer.
Yes, you're friends with Mr. Anderson.
Correct.
Yes.
That is correct.
Yes, everyone, please why don't you head back to your caravans, check your belongings, and she kind of like points over at a woman, and she says, Trish, I need to speak with you. And Trish bursts into tears because she knows it's her husband. And so she goes over and puts her arm around her and kind of walks her off.
I'm gonna
towards her
go.
caravan.
I'm gonna go walk up to them and ask them if I can offer my condolences and ask them to if I can pray for them.
Oh, that's very kind of you, Father. We are not of your faith, but we appreciate the sentiment.
Of course, absolutely, no problem. I just I'm so sorry for your loss. Just was hoping that I could offer any way I could.
We appreciate it. This is going to be a difficult time for all of us. We are like a family here, and
I'm certain of that.
All right.
Anderson ran off to go find Barney. Excuse me. So Barney, could you make me a vigor check, please?
Four.
Okay. So yeah, Anderson, you come up to the Hall of Mirrors, and there's like the sign that said Hall of Mirrors had kind of fallen off its chains, right, and is kind of hanging down in front of the doorway that goes into the Hall of Mirrors. But you can make your way inside.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
I'm gonna start shouting for him.
So
Yeah. I'm here.
how far in would you have walked?
How far in could he have walked?
Yeah.
I mean, he probably could have gotten pretty far in the amount of time if he kept walking in during the storm.
Okay.
I probably wouldn't have gone too far in because I would imagine it's not a very populated place during a tornado.
Yeah.
So probably just, a few feet in. As soon as I would have got in there and been like, well, I'm indoors, but there's nobody else in here.
Right. Okay, yeah. So he would hear you. You probably can't see him because he probably like slipped around a corner or something. But Barney, if you want to make, let's see. Let's go with, Let's go with notice, but without your blind penalty. To hear your way back to Anderson.
Well, I'm still not trained, so it's instead of a -8, it's going to be a -2.
Okay.
So.
Wow, you wild dice 5 though.
I know, oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah, so -2 plus 6 would be 4.
Yeah.
So I totally heard him.
It doesn't look like it is taking into account the negative.
Okay.
The wild die does not know.
Yeah, I noticed that on the sheet earlier.
I don't know how to fix that.
Okay, so you start moving in the direction you think you hear him.
Cool.
Anderson, do you want to actually go in and start looking for him?
Yeah, I will. Did he echo back and I hear him respond?
Yeah, you can hear him.
Okay, then yeah, I'm gonna definitely go and look for him.
Okay.
And I'll keep saying Marco.
Hello, Mr. Anderson.
I'll say Marco.
What? Barney?
Polo.
Why? Why? Polo?
Marco, and I'll keep saying Marco as I try and find him.
Okay.
Polo.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's going to take you a little while to find him and maneuver around all the mirrors and stuff, but you do eventually find him, and then you eventually can make your way back out.
Okay.
Agent Williams.
Oh.
Or
All right.
Pastor.
Well, I'm just gonna let the guys know that Anderson spoke to the before we get headlong into this new thing. Uh, Anderson is gonna have some stuff to tell you about some uh, interaction he had with the fortune teller, and right now he is chasing down Barney, and hopefully he'll be back shortly. So hopefully we can come together and trade information on what we figured out while we were spread.
All right. I'd like to look at the body.
Okay.
And nope, I have nothing useful to provide. In fact, with double ones, I am providing less than useful data.
You're kicking dirt all over it?
Yeah.
Start burying immediately.
Yeah.
Agent Williams, if you could please step away. I'm pretty sure you're causing.
Mr. Williams, we definitely do not want to strip the body in front of all of these people. If an autopsy is something that's required, we can do that later.
All right. Well, then maybe we should move the body somewhere useful.
All right. Now that I can agree with.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Are any of these buildings intact? Like, does it look like there's any place we can head?
It looks pretty rough here at the carnival. You could probably acquire yourself like a cart or something to move the body back into town if you wanted to do that. But the carnival got hit pretty bad.
Yeah.
Pretty badly.
I'm gonna ask the lady that was sort of sounded like she was in charge.
Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name before.
I am. Well, my stage name is Madam Ying, but my actual name is Kai Ying. I am the owner of this carnival.
All right, Madam Yang. I apologize, but is there anywhere we can move this body that would be a little more private, so we can do a more thorough investigation?
And she kind of looks around to see what's still standing, and she goes, "Looks like the elephant tent is still standing. If you'd like to take him in there, I can get the boys to move the elephants over to a different area."
That'll be fine. Just one stall would be enough, and a table if you have it.
Sure. And she kind of like points at a couple of people and waves them over and tells them what you need, and they run off to go move the elephants and acquire a table and such.
All right. I'm gonna. Is there any like bits of tent or canvas big enough to like to carry the body with?
There's ripped pieces of like large pieces of canvas that have flown off of various tents and things kind of all over the place. So you'd probably be able to find something nearby to use as a maneuvering tarp.
Okay, so I'll prep a slip and Madam Yang's gonna help us find a quieter place. So she says we can move on into the elephant tent.
Okay.
All right.
Have Anderson and Barney caught up to us?
Yeah, you guys are all together now.
Okay. So you want to head into the tent, and then we'll talk about everything that we've...
Find someplace a little more private.
Right.
Okay. So together you guys move the body into the tent. You get it up onto the table, and you're kind of left alone for the most part. Everybody else is kind of trying to clean up the carnival and check on their personal belongings and such. So,
well, how you doing there, Barney?
I'm okay. It's windy, but it's fine.
That had to be pretty scary. You holding up okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just loud and windy. It's kind of like when I stick my head out the car window.
He's lucky those mirrors didn't shatter and slice him to shreds.
What mirrors?
You were in the house of mirrors.
Oh,
In the middle of a hurricane, you ran off away from us into a house of mirrors, which is unquestionably the dumbest place to be during a hurricane.
I think you mean tornado.
Tornado. Sorry.
Well, it sure is a good thing that I specifically chose that building then, isn't it?
No, it's not. You need to stay with us. You cannot go
Well-
run off on your own like that.
Sure, maybe you should just tie a rope around my leg or something.
Well, I figure your waist be better. Your leg, you might trip.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're concerned about the well-being and health of a child.
I'm not against putting a leash on you.
I mean, isn't that what we're talking about?
I believe that was just what was offered.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, Barney, do you feel like we're not concerned with your safety?
No. I mean, I don't, but I can't speak for my dad,
Okay.
you know. So what's going on? Why everybody's here now?
Well, somebody got real hurt during the hurricane, so we're gonna move them and check them out and see what happened.
Who got hurt?
Where are we moving them to?
What was his name? Kavor.
Havor.
Oh,
Sure.
Havor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Havor.
you heard it.
Kavor.
Havor
So one of the
Warfreck.
Oh, Havor Warfreck.
There you go.
Yep. Oh, good. You can say it. That's going to be useful for the report. I'll let you
Well-
write it.
All right.
Why is there a report about somebody being hurt?
Well,
have you
call me
not-
crazy, but this doesn't look like the damage a tornado would do. Father, you've dealt with your odd share of bodies. Do you want to have a look-see and see what you can glean?
Yeah.
All right. So we get them moved into the tent and start checking them out.
Okay. So who's doing the autopsy of sorts?
That would be me.
Okay. Do you have research or
It's
a knowledge
medicine.
skill or medicine or
Medicine is tied to forensics.
Medicine or healing?
medicine?
Or sorry, healing.
Is it
Healing.
healing?
It's healing, yeah.
Okay.
I actually went and was flipping through the book while this is all going on.
Oh, I appreciate it. Okay, so so do you have healing?
I do, and I rolled a 4.
Okay, sorry. I got to switch
It's
between
fine.
screens
No, it's
here.
fine. Yep.
I don't get the badoops in this from
Badoop.
got too much going on.
Next time I roll, I'll just go badoop.
There you go. Appreciate it. So as you start to look over the body before you really get too deep, you see that the skin of the person, I mean, this was a really large man, and it looks like his skin has been dehydrated against his bones.
Like a large as in like he might have been heavy set, or large as in he was just like a larger guy.
He was a really tall, huge, heavy set, probably. So from his, the frame size, you're thinking maybe this guy was like the carnival strongman or something.
Okay.
Because he was. I mean, this guy is pushing like 6'7", 6'8", like he's giant, tall.
Right.
The amount of
340 pounds.
right, and all
Okay.
of his skin and muscle has been dehydrated, like up to his bones. He looks like all of the moisture in his body was sucked
This
out.
isn't so I'm thinking this isn't a medical issue. I'd like to roll a cult to see if I've heard of anything about this in my books.
Okay,
Like
yeah.
instantaneous dehydration, like
Go for it.
mummification almost.
Well, I'll tell you this. Yeah, I'll be like, look, this is beyond anything I've ever seen. Maybe you might want to look into, could this be something supernatural as opposed to this is
Yeah.
not natural, right?
So-
This is not natural.
So together you guys start going over the body when you're like, okay, this is weird, right? And so like you lift up his eyelids and his eyeballs aren't there. They've been completely dehydrated. When you touch his body, you can tell there's no blood, there's no water, there's nothing left of moisture in his body.
Right.
And Anderson, from your 4 on occult, you remember reading something in an obscure book about some type of demon or devil that as punishment to humans would do some type of mummification.
Okay. Okay, I'll share that with the group. My theory.
Okay.
Well, I guess we do need to make sure that he hasn't, he was alive before the tornado and not just hidden for a week or so.
I'm pretty sure by his.
I get that impression
reaction
as well. Yeah,
that he was a member of the living up until that point. I doubt she would have been so surprised if he had been missing for a week or dead or something.
Yeah. All right. Well, when we met a few folks and happened to find out that Anderson had been frequenting the bar almost every night. The last night he was in and then disappeared without talking to anybody.
Yeah, he seemed real excited and then left. And the barmaid made it sound like he wouldn't have done that normally.
Graham?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, Graham.
Adrian.
Oh, I have some information on Graham, potentially.
Oh, tell me.
The fortune teller says that he did come to see her, and that he was with another someone named Rusty, and she said she thought he was a hobo, which would make sense given the information we received from his father.
When was he there?
I didn't get a chance to ask that question. The tornado came, and we kind of ran out of time, but we could go find her again and ask her. She did say that he left town with Rusty seeking adventure, whatever that means.
You don't think Rusty could have been the hobo that he led into their house?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. It's
That's
the one
likely.
that the dad said about. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Well, part of me is completely inclined to dismiss this as we suspected, just someone heading off, but this body here doesn't sit right.
Yeah,
This body is a little bit more our thing than the disappearance of the kid.
Well, either way, I think it'd be best to clear any questions or leave any questions behind with this. I mean, to the realization that there's certainly something supernatural.
I'm also real curious about that fella Manny. I asked a bit about him too, and apparently he came down with some opportunity with a manufacturing company, something. And the only thing they could remember as far as a name goes was Gloop. Name don't make any sense to me, but I don't know if that's what they were manufacturing or who was offering him the opportunity. But
Gloop, huh?
mm-hmm.
Gloop. I've never heard of it. Anything on the weird side?
Yeah.
Anderson?
Y'all know anything about something called Gloop?
Glute. No. Not that I've ever heard. Can I roll for research to see if I've ever heard of it?
Yeah. You can do a common knowledge roll.
Common knowledge roll.
Oh,
Cool.
sure.
D4 on that.
Bloop.
Nice. I failed.
Yes.
You should try to.
I will.
Yeah. Oh, I guess
Richard Williams blew it up. Oh my god.
Oh my God. Pastor Phillips rolled a 16 and Agent Williams rolled a 10.
Pastor Wilson created that word.
Yeah.
he actually owns the Gloop factory in Minnesota.
Yeah, he does. Oh, What a coincidence!
Yeah, gloop. You say that's
You think you've heard of you can't really remember specifically the gentleman's name, but the name Gloop stands out as the owner of a factory.
so gloop. It reminds me of, and I can't remember his name. The owner of a factory.
Yeah.
Okay. Seems like with a 16 I get a little more than that, but we'll go with that. So hey guys, you know what? Come to think of it, Gloop. There was a, and I
You know
can't
what?
remember his
You're
name.
right. With a 16,
Okay, good.
I will give you the name of the factory.
Okay.
It's a factory here in Kansas called General Manufacturing.
General Mills.
General Manufacturing.
General Manufacturing. Sorry. All right.
Was
So what?
Do you remember what town?
Yeah, Kansas.
Kansas.
That's all I know. No, I don't. I don't know specific. I can only remember that this was a factory. It was called General Manufacturing, and I cannot remember. There was a guy's name, and I cannot remember for the life.
All right.
The owner was.
Excuse me.
Maybe someone local might be able to get us a little bit more information.
All right.
Well, I think right now one of our biggest leads is to check out the hobo town, but we may want to wait for morning on that one.
Perhaps we can swing back by the Graham place and check out their basement. I mean, if he let him in there, maybe they were doing something down there,
You
left a
think-
clue behind.
You think he's gonna let us in there after we've?
He will.
Messed up. Okay.
Well,
In the
we
middle
told
of
him
the
we gotta
night.
leave.
He won't have a choice anyways, will he?
I mean, we could break in if you want to, but
There's no need. He'll let us in. He knows
No,
we're
I'm
looking for his job.
I'm saying he won't have a choice, as in we're of authority.
Let's not make an issue out of something that's not an issue yet.
Yeah. For sure.
So we want to go and check out the boy's house again, or do we want to go check out the hobo area to see if anybody around there knows Rusty and where he may have gone to? I feel like we'll have better luck talking to the other homeless folks.
all right, let's head there. I'm sure they got tossed up a bit by the tornado.
Sure.
Okay. So it is after dark. So you guys make your way out of town. I believe it's east of here. Just making sure, checking my notes. Yeah, it's east of here, and you make your way out of town to kind of a clearing area. It's kind of a flat bowl area just outside of town that there's a bunch of you can see like fire circles set up with various people kind of hanging out around them, little like small tents set up, it seems kind of haphazard, but it's like organized chaos. As you kind of walk up, like it seems like just there's shit everywhere and there's people everywhere. But as you kind of make your way around, you see that there's kind of like alleyways and streets, and they've created kind of their own community within this little like hobo shanty town.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, anybody familiar with riding rail or anything like that? Knows the
What is it
lingo?
again?
Anybody familiar with traveling on one's own dime and living a life outside of society?
It's been a long time, but I lived on the streets for a while. What are you curious about?
Well, I'm just wondering who should talk first.
Who speaks their language?
Oh. I would say probably Philip. They tend to make well with religious folks.
Oh, I can certainly give it a shot.
All right,
Okay.
Pastor Billy.
So Philip, what kind of clothes do you wear? What do you look like?
I'm pretty. I wear a pretty humble. You know. You know. I'm not like wearing any. Not certainly not anything that would indicate necessarily that I was a man of faith.
Right.
Other than like my cross.
Okay. Okay. I was just wondering if there's anything that you wore that made you stand out as like, I am a man of the cloth.
No, not really. Actually,
Okay.
I dress pretty. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you guys make your way into camp. You find that people that are sitting near their tents tend to watch you very intensely as you walk by. They like track your moves as you walk by. Like you stand out, right?
Yeah,
Like you're obviously not part of their community. Nobody's really being like aggressive or trying to like physically not let you in, but you're definitely like, they're definitely clocking you, right? They're definitely keeping eyes on you. And every once in a while you see like somebody run by and whisper something, then run off like farther ahead, right? Like they're warning people that there's outsiders coming, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
And you can see up ahead that there's like a fire, and there's the largest majority of the people are all like kind of sitting around that fire and chatting, and not as like one big group. There's like groups of people, but that fire seems to be like the local, the central hub of this portion of the hobo camp.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I'm not the. I'll tell you what. For you, old.
Who you calling old?
What I mean is, as a profession,
Don't backpedal.
you guys have been involved in investigation and so on and so forth, and that's definitely not my. That's not my specialty. What do you suggest if I start making conversation with somebody, what do you guys suggest I ask?
Well, a big part of investigation is trust. If you can establish trust right away, then that's going to help you out. They're going to be more likely to tell you what they know.
You want me to find somebody, see if I can, get them talking a little comfortable? Maybe you guys can just come in later, and I can introduce you.
Could I retcon something?
Mm-hmm.
Possibly. Could we maybe stop and get some food on the way here? Like stop at a grocery store and maybe get some food as an offering to these folks? It's something I think we would have had the forethought to do.
That's an excellent idea.
Yeah, because of the hurricane, the grocery store was kind of close to closing time. But once the tornado hit, Kurt, you said hurricane earlier, and now that's stuck in my head. Once the tornado hit, they actually reopened the store so that they could help distribute supplies to people. So yeah, the store would have been open late tonight.
Okay.
To kind of take care of the town and make sure everybody was okay. So yeah, I'm okay with you retconning that you picked up some groceries before you went down.
Cool. So you want to like hand me the stuff and I'll
Yeah, and it makes sense for a pastor to do this. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. So you said it's just like a group of people?
Yeah. There's probably like 15 or so people in various size little groups kind of clustered around, kind of talking to each other. Some people are laughing. There's somebody over in the corner that's playing a harmonica and they're, singing songs and stuff. And
okay.
Yeah.
I want to go to a smaller group because I don't want to just try to interject myself into a large group right away. So I'm just going to go to like one of the little offshoots of like, 4 or 5 people maybe.
Okay.
And introduce myself.
Yeah. So you see a group of, it's like 3 people. They're all sitting together. they've each got like one's chewing on some chewing tobacco, and another one's like telling a story. They're all drinking from like a jug that they're passing around. And they're just kind of like swapping. You can tell they were swapping stories of different places they've traveled and that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, I'll walk up and just say, "Hey, fellas, you guys doing okay with the you guys make it okay through the tornado and everything? Just came through."
Uh, yeah, I mean, we heard the siren and it got real windy, but tornado didn't come anywhere near our camp.
Okay, that's excellent news. I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Pastor Wilson.
Pastor.
Yes, sir. I've actually brought some. We stopped through the store was open to help with a lot of the damage and the people that need stuff. So I figured we'd swing through there and see how you guys were doing. So we stopped and grabbed some food and some beverages.
That's mighty kind of you. We take anything we can. It's a real nice. It's a real nice gesture there, Pastor. We appreciate the kindness.
Well, we're just trying to help out, try to do what we can for our fellow humankind.
Yeah. Is there any? Does there happen to be any medicine you brought with you there?
Well, yeah. What do you need?
Well, I mean, we got ourselves a dock now, and we all try to pick up any supplies we can to help out the dock so that he can take care of us when we're not feeling so hot.
Okay, so you guys need some like antibiotics or something? Or do we even have antibiotics? You guys want some penicillin?
I mean, whatever. Well, I don't know about all that medicine stuff, but I know that the doc over there tries to get his hands on as much as he can. So
Sure, I'll tell you what. Well, I'll make you a deal. As soon as you and I finish talking here, I'll head over to the doctor and see what I can do.
that's mighty kind of you, Pastor. It's mighty kind.
For sure, absolutely. So let me jump right to it. I don't want to waste your time. I'm here with some friends, and we're just doing a little investigating. We heard of a young man that might have gone missing. We
didn't have anything to do with that. We don't take people. I know that they say lots of nasty stuff about us up there in that town, but we don't do that kind of thing down here.
Honestly, sir, I'm not even interested in rumors and so on and so forth. I could care less about a rumor. We all know what a rumor does to brothers and sisters and families. They're nothing but the devil's work. So, honestly, if you know anything or have heard anything, or could point us even in the right direction to help us find out possibly what might have happened to this young man. His name is Adrian Graham.
And you kind of hear like audible like sounds of disgust from the other two guys sitting around, sitting in this circle here when you say Adrian's name. Okay. And the guy you're talking to is like, ugh, of course they send somebody to investigate when the pretty rich boy goes missing, but we've been losing people out here for weeks now, and we've been telling everybody, and we even went up into town and told that damn sheriff, and no one seems to care that we're missing. But now that the pretty boy's gone missing, they finally start investigating.
You know what? We've actually spoke to your supposed sheriff, and if I'm being quite honest, we've actually shared the exact same disheartening disgust that you have over this exact issue. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure the conversation went the exact same way.
I mean, it's just, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate, you guys caring about people like us. It's just a damn shame that it took for probably another fine person to go missing before anybody starts to do anything.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Look, we're all people, and we're, regardless of money, whether you have it or you don't, at the end of the day, we're God's children. And, I mean, everyone should be, cared for the same. So, on that note, would you have anything, that you might want to share?
Why don't you make a persuasion roll?
Fuck yeah, I will. Persuade the shit out of this. And by that, I mean I won't.
Would you like to spend a penny?
Get wrecked.
Get wrecked!
Would you like to spend a penny?
Yeah, how many of those do I have?
You get 3.
3.
3? Where's that at on my...
You just get 3 at the beginning of every game.
Oh, I probably should have marked
Yeah,
that.
the sheet doesn't really have a nice
Yeah, the
place
sheet.
for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wrote on the bottom of my sheet that I used one and what I used
Okay.
it for, so I'd remember. In the stash.
Yeah, there isn't a good place on these character sheets for it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna write it in stash.
Okay,
Yeah,
barely.
Keep mine.
Okay, yeah, 6. So he kind of takes a minute and thinks about it. He kind of looks you up and down, and he looks at the guys that are kind of like just off behind you,
Right.
like
Yeah, yeah.
nonchalantly, like la la la, and he's like, that fancy boy wouldn't have gone missing if Rusty hadn't made friends with him. I mean, it seems like only our kind had gone missing, and then he and Rusty, made friends, and that's, I mean, and he kind of points out into, I mean, it's nighttime, so it's just dark, right? But it's you can tell it's like empty farmland that there should be stuff out there, and there's not. It's just dark. And he said, we've had quite a few of those, like those dust devil things come through. Every time one comes through, somebody goes missing.
I'm gonna go ahead and glance over at Agent Williams and Agent Moore, and just kind of whisper and say, "So the tornado, and now their dust devils, they're saying might be causing an issue. There's no way those two things aren't related."
I'm going to speak up. Are you saying there was a tornado that came through here 3 nights ago? 2 nights ago? I've lost track of time.
Yes, Mr. G-Man, I do believe that is what I'm saying.
Interesting. And so, how often do they come through?
Every few days or so. It's not exactly been consistent. There was a good 2 weeks there where there was nothing, and folks started getting comfortable going out on their own at night, and then people started going missing again.
Do they ever hit your camp here?
They never come into camp. They always miss camp. And we saw that big one hit the town, and we were surprised because usually they don't even come all the way into town. They're just kind of out, out in the dry land out there.
Have you? How many would you say there of these dust devils have there been? Would you say, if
It's
you were to
hard to
guess?
say, but I know of like six fellers that have gone missing in the last month.
And every single one had a small tornado that ripped through every single one of them,
Every single time.
and they've
Not
all missed. And they've all missed your camp.
They don't come in camp.
Well, it sounds like they've missed town entirely until tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would definitely recommend that you urge your folks to stay together until we figure this whole thing out. We don't want to see any of your folks or anyone else to go missing until we find what's causing this issue.
Well, you said dust devils before. Was the one in town much bigger than the other?
Oh yeah, that one's a lot bigger than the last one we saw. That's that was a real big one.
Have they
That was
been
a big
getting
one.
progressively bigger? Like started out real small, then a little bit at a time they got bigger, or is this one just suddenly bigger than the rest?
I don't know. I haven't really been paying attention. I mean, yeah, I would say like 2 months ago, it was just like that, like when wind picks up dirt and it just kind of like swirls and then settles.
Sure.
And we've been seeing like bigger versions of that happening.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Well, what now?
Well,
Should we ask about Rusty?
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Why don't I'm assuming this guy's sweetened up by now, so
Yeah.
Why don't you guys go ahead and
What? I'm real curious, actually. Could you tell us a little bit more about this Rusty character?
Rusty, well, he was a nice feller, young, real young, kind of not very careful. I think he's probably new to the life. I mean, a lot of people are these days new to the life. Fall on hard times, don't have anywhere to go, so they end up in camps like this. But he was definitely new blood. He used to talk about, I mean, we all talk about our lives before, right? The before this. And he couple times got pretty drunk and was talking about some wife and kids that he had somewhere. And how much he regretted leaving them. And how
Do you remember where?
He said somewhere up north. Not real sure where exactly that was. But he'd talk about them when he'd get real drunk. I remember him talking about coming from money at some point in his life. I think that's why he and that Graham boy got along so well, because he kind of, I don't know, saw himself in Graham. Most of us thought he was just trying to like get in good with the town money so that he could try and work an angle or something. But nothing really seemed too wrong about it. I mean, they would hang out, and Adrian was always a good kid. He'd bring food out here to us, and he's been bringing medicine to the dock ever since his daddy bought up the place where the doc had his office. Adrian's been bringing medicine and supplies and stuff out here to him. And, I mean, he was a good kid. Rusty and him got along real well.
Have you seen Rusty recently?
No, he went He went missing, I don't know, like 4 or 5 days ago.
Okay. So before Adrian. Interesting.
Well, if he was staying with Adrian at the house,
Right. Yeah.
he would have disappeared a few days earlier. So I mean, that might account for the discrepancy there in time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any hills or anything nearby?
I mean, there's some like foothills, like way off. If you keep going east, you'll hit them.
Okay, so subdirection, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
so verticality.
yeah.
Well, one final question for you. You seem like a well-traveled individual. Have you heard of the General Manufacturing Factory?
You mean
It's somewhere here in Kansas, just
there
not sure
in-
where.
up there in Lawrence?
Probably. That seems reasonable.
Yeah, I mean the Lawrence, the General Manufacturing Company up there in Lawrence, is pretty big factory.
Yeah. Oh, Lawrence. That was it.
Thank you, Pastor.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Tobias. That's the
Tobias.
that's the
Yep.
owner of the general manufacturing place there up there in Lawrence.
Tobias.
And-
Sam. Sorry.
Well,
Sorry, I remember his last name.
does Mr. Tobias, does he normally come down here to headhunt, or?
Yeah. I mean, usually he makes a round through the camps. Anybody willing to work hard. The pay's not real good, and sometimes he can get a few volunteers to go with him.
Fella in town named Manny.
Oh
went
yeah,
missing.
we know Manny.
Okay.
He's always trying to come out here and give us his bathtub gin.
Okay. Well, he was talking all kinds about big opportunity with something called Gloop.
Yeah, Tobias Gloop. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, shit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, he came through I don't know, a couple weeks ago and recruited, I think there were like 3 or 4 people that went back with him. I've always gotten a real funny feeling about that guy, so even though, it'd be nice to have a little money in my pocket, I just can't. I don't know, I can't work for a guy that gives me those kind of heebie-jeebies, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Was that the? Oh.
Go ahead.
Was that the last time he was through here? A couple weeks ago?
Yeah, last time I saw him was about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Well, anything else you can think that might be relevant in the search for missing folk?
I don't know. I mean,
Anybody else you think maybe we need to speak to that might have more information?
Doc Dempsey is the smartest man out here, so if you want to talk to somebody who knows things about things, he's the guy to talk to, but I don't know if anybody, I mean, everybody kind of knows, we've all talked about how weird everything's been with the disappearances and stuff. It's just been weird time, so every once in a while we got people missing and we got people volunteering to go work at this whatever manufacturing company, and then there's just people that just jump on the train and take off, and usually those people say goodbye before they leave, but still, it's been weird. There's been lots of people coming and going in ways we're not used to around here.
Yeah, it's certainly something I would say I wouldn't even be, any of us would, anyone could get used to. We will definitely swing over and talk to Dr. What'd you say his name was? Dr.
Doc Dempsey.
Doc Dempsey. Okay, we will swing over and speak to him. I think that'll be a good idea before we take off, and maybe we'll have something to offer him, and maybe he can provide us some information.
That's a good idea. Well, if you guys need any help or you need any you need work done for you or anything, you come back, all right?
Thank you. We appreciate
Thank
your time. Yeah.
I'll shake his hand before we leave.
Oh, mighty kind. He shakes your hand.
I'm gonna
Not many people like
Right.
go to shake hands with a hobo anymore. So
You stole my move.
I'm gonna take down, if
Anderson.
you'll give them, the names and descriptions of the people that went missing from the camp,
okay,
just so we have them in case it
Good
becomes
idea,
relevant
yeah.
when we get to the.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, so he'll sit there and he'll give you the best of his recollection, the descriptions and names of some of the people that have gone missing.
Okay.
Yep.
And do you know where any of them were headed when they went missing?
I mean,
You know, I heard some folks wander off into the old farmland to
yeah, I mean
scavenge.
that's the thing about living in a little, like, I don't know, we call them hobo jungles. Is there's really not a lot of room to stretch your legs and get away from people, and so we all kind of take our time to go wander off, and there's a lot of empty farms out there, and so sometimes things get left behind and you can scavenge things, so it's pretty common that we all kind of go for a little walkabout. Maybe find yourself a tree that isn't dead and you can pick off some fruit off of it or something.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Kindest G-man I've ever met. So you guys move away from the circle and make your way in the direction that the gentleman pointed. And you come across, for the size of the tents in this like hobo jungle, is a pretty large tent. And there's a gentleman sitting outside on a stool. He's got he looks pretty clean comparative. And he's sitting down in front of a bucket of water, and he's like washing his hands.
Say there, would
This
you
is
be Doc Dempsey?
I am Doc Dempsey. How can I help you?
Pleasure. Well, my name is Gabriel Moore. I'm an agent with the USBI, and my associates and myself are here investigating some missing persons. So hoping maybe you could give us some information.
Well, I can guarantee that the people that live in this community wouldn't have anything to do with missing people. They are salt of the earth people that live here.
Oh, no, that's not what we meant at all. We're actually looking for maybe if you can tell us a little bit about the people that went missing, if they talked about anything, any new opportunities, any enemies they may have made, anybody you've seen coming through the camp acting suspicious. We're not really looking for the residents. They're not the...
Oh, I'm sorry. And he gets a towel and he dries off his hands. I'm Doc Dempsey. It's nice to meet you. And he puts his hand out for you to shake.
Pleasure, and I'll shake his hand.
Okay. And I'm sorry. And your name was again?
Gabriel Moore.
Gabriel Moore. Yes. Yeah, I being the only person around here that knows medicine and this many people, there's lots of sick people and hurt people, and people come in with sores on their feet from all the walking they've been doing, and so I've gained the trust of the people in this community pretty quickly, taking care of them. There's always people that just kind of disappear, get up and jump the train, jump the rails, and take off. It's pretty uncommon for that to just happen, though. For people to just take off like that. Even when you're someone who travels around a lot, you at least make a couple of friends everywhere you go, and feel the need to tell them that you're heading out before you do. I don't think that's the kind of missing persons you're talking about, though. Maybe you gentlemen like to come inside so I can show you a few things.
That would be great.
So he opens the flap to his tent, and it's more like a Red Cross tent than an actual sleeping tent. Inside there's a couple of like cabinets and a couple of like cots, like army cot type things, and you can see in the back corner he's got a table, and he's got like a tarp thrown over something on the table. And he says, these have been showing up for weeks. And he goes over and he pulls back the tarp, and you see a dehydrated, mummified looking corpse laying
that saves
on the
time.
table.
Yeah.
Well, I wish this was surprising.
Where have they been showing up?
Well, in the flatlands where the farms used to be, I like to take long walks and pick herbs and find anything I can to, traditional medicine's kind of hard to get for these guys, so I tend to try to figure out alternative medications for things, and I found this one out in the old Adams farm, like just laying in the field. But I've found 15 so far.
Oh,
Wow.
I haven't quite gotten around to burying this one yet, but we've got a graveyard not too far off from here, and once we've done what we could to figure out who it was or what happened, I have no idea. We'd have ourselves a little gathering, say a few words, and bury the body.
Now, this may seem like an odd question, but this body here, how long did you find it after the most recent dust storm?
I found this one roughly 10 days ago. There was probably a dust storm a few days before that.
Okay. All right. In your medical opinion, any idea what's causing this?
Severe dehydration doesn't look like this. Bleeding out doesn't look like this. He kind of runs through like a bunch of different things that he said, like ruling out things like a doctor would, right? Like it's not this, it's not this. Smarter person than I am, running through all the things that it would be or wouldn't be. And he kind of gets to through his lists of wouldn't be's, and he says, honestly, all of the moisture in this person's body was removed, and there's no medical explanation for how this would have happened.
I hate to ask, but have you autopsied any of these bodies?
I mean, I've tried, but when I go to cut into it, they're full of sand.
Literal sand?
Full of
Dust, sand. I've tried to figure out exactly what it is, but it looks like it might just be like dehydrated organs. I'm not sure.
So the internals are not intact or even present that you're aware of.
There's nothing inside them. I mean, I think after the third body, I stopped doing autopsies.
Okay.
But the first three were exactly the same. There was no internal organs. There was nothing in their body at all.
How
except
long
sand.
have these bodies been showing up?
About 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you happen to know when Graham's father started grabbing up all the land around here and all the property?
Eugene Graham.
Yes.
Well, I would say 6-8 months ago, he started making big purchases. He already owned quite a bit of the town from, his daddy who owned it before him, kind of thing. Are you stealing my water? The own the land before him kind of thing. But about 8 months ago, he started buying up more and more property around town.
Has he shown any interest in the land that your little town lies on, or perhaps even where the carnival is?
The community? After he bought up my shop and I moved out here, he showed up a few weeks after that with a couple other men. Looked like they were kind of measuring the area, finding out how big it was. Didn't make any aggressive moves towards coming into the community or anything. He knows that the camp wouldn't exactly allow him to just stride his ass into our camp. But he did come out here, and he had a couple other business-looking men with him, and they were definitely talking and pointing.
This is going to be a really odd question, but are there any series of caves or caverns around here?
Caves. They're up in just past the foothills. There's a mine. That's pretty far off from here, though.
Okay.
Pretty far off. How far would you say, roughly?
70, 80 miles.
Oh.
Oh. Lord have mercy.
Okay.
What's the most recent body you found?
This one right here.
And you found it 15 days ago?
10 days ago? Found it 10 days ago. Yeah. Yeah. And right. I actually don't know who this gentleman is. There wasn't any ID or anything on his body, so.
So that means Rusty and Adrian are still potentially out there.
Yeah. I've been real worried about both of them because of the disappearance. Adrian was aware of what's been going on. He and I have talked quite a bit about it. That's part of the reason why he's been coming down here and helping me out by feeding the people and bringing supplies and things, because the less people have to venture out to go find stuff, the safer everyone is.
All right. Anyone else have anything?
I think we have more than enough. I mean, outside of explaining what in the world is going on, I think we at least have substantial leads, right? I mean, I think that's what you guys would say, leads.
Something like that, yes.
Okay.
Well, I think it's time to head back. We appreciate your time, Doc. And
Thank you very much.
You're doing good work.
Thanks. If you figure out what's going on, you let me know, and I'll do anything I can to help keep these nice people safe.
Likewise.
I had told my friend over there, he's the one that told us to come talk to you. I told him that if I could, I would help out in any way by offering any medicines, but I actually do believe that I don't have any currently.
That's okay. I'm actually, from the last time Adrian came out, I'm doing okay on supplies. But all these men here, they know that if they get sick or if they get hurt, I'm kind of their only hope. Even when I was in town, I would treat them for free, and so they know I'm kind of their only hope if they were to get sick, and so they work real hard to keep me stocked with anything they can get their hands on.
That's good. Well, God will bless you.
Thank you, sir. All right. So from there, are you guys going to head back to town and get a room at the inn or at the not the inn, but at the hotel.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, probably.
figure out our next move.
Yeah, probably for the best. That or break into Graham's house and investigate the demon circle in his basement.
Right.
Okay, well, why don't we stop there for tonight? We'll say you guys head back into town, and you can regroup with what you decide you're going to do next. Either break into Graham's basement, or go to sleep for the night. Whatever you choose, we can pick that up next week. I want to thank you guys so much for watching the show today. This has been episode 2 of Agents of S.I.P. You can find more about Pixel Scandal at pixelscandal.com. You can watch this show and our Nerdcast on twitch.tv/Pixel You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of the social media accounts. And we will have our next Nerdcast this coming Saturday, or Sunday. Sorry, we moved to Sundays. Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we will have our next episode of S.I.P. On, hopefully someone else has their calendar open, because I don't.
No.
On June 11th. June 11th will be our next episode of Agents of S.I.P. We do it every other Tuesday. So June 11th at 6 p.m. PST, Pixel Scandal time. That will be our next episode. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching Agents of S.I.P.
Bye.
See you, everybody.